Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again for another Appalachian Trail community news and THru HIker update. So if you've come to this channel to find out what's going on with the Appalachian Trail and the THru hikers out there, you have come to the right place. Hopefully you know some folks out there that are interested in being a part of the hiker community, so subscribe to this channel and then share it with them and let them go and subscribe to this channel and just come and be a part of it. We want to help build the hiker community, and that's what this channel is all about: supporting the hiker community, building the hiker community, and supporting the THru hikers. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on with the THru hikers out there and who is where on the trail. So you got Buttercup. She summited on her flip-flop at Katahdin, and now she is going south now, and she's got about 950 miles left on her hike. Hillbilly, he completed the that is a hard one for me to say, the Mahoosuc Notch and the Mahoosuc Arm, and he has got about 267 or less miles left to Katahdin. Papa Groot, he has made it to Massachusetts, and he is somewhere around the 1,700 mile mark on his flip-flop. He's north of that by now. Yahtzee and Mulligan, they are near Hartford, and they say Vermont is muddy. Imagine that. That's hard to believe, Vermont being muddy. Huck, he is north of Moosilauke, and Huck is just one of these that it doesn't matter what happens. Huck has had problems with his electric lights that took him off the trail. He's had Lyme disease out there that took him off the trail, and he just keeps bouncing back. And he says he's overjoyed to be right here, right now, in this moment. Says he feels the ecstasy of moving himself along the path closer each day to the Big Mama K waiting for me ahead in Maine. So that's just awesome. I wish we all could have that attitude that he seems to have 24/7 out there. So that's just awesome. Sev and Quicksilver, they are under 385 miles left. They are in Damascus, and probably by now they are south of Damascus on their subo portion of their flip-flop. And they also say that they're just loving every day on the trail. People out here are just amazing. America could use more of this. You are absolutely right, Sev. America could use more of that, and I hope that I'm doing my part to make America more like this. And it's just never cease to amaze me, the hiker community. So America, if you're listening out there, come on and be a part of it. Goob, he has passed 1,800 miles and is a stone's throw away from starting the whites. In a Hurry has summited Springer on her portion of her flip-flop, and it now has 727 miles left. No bow all the way now to the finish on her flip-flop. She started in Daleville, Virginia, and she'll be ending there. And she says a note about Maine is it's a good thing Maine has ponds and rivers, because every source that's not a pond and river on gut hooks is dry. So keep that in mind, folks, as you're heading up there through Maine. Farmer, he's south of Pine Grove, Furnace, Pennsylvania, and he has finished the half-gallon challenge. Finished it, ate it all, and now he is heading on towards Harper's Ferry, where that will be the finish of his flip-flop. Bandit, he's around Salisbury, Connecticut on his no-bow. Two Knees and Quilt, they are somewhere trail north of the Lake of the Clouds hut, and they were able to snag a work for stay up there. So we'd put out, and originally Whispers, our northern correspondent, had indicated that the AMC huts, nobody up there would be allowing work for stay this year, where it seems like they changed their mind, because Two Knees and Kilt got it. They did have to stay in the dungeon. They couldn't stay upstairs in the nice place. They had to stay downstairs in the dungeon, which, if you followed Ultra, the Ultra hiker, who has she has a YouTube channel out there, and she has already finished a couple months ago, I believe. But in any case, she had noted her stay there at the Lake of the Clouds, and she was trying to stay in the dungeon, and they ran her off even though it was terrible weather, like dangerous hypothermic weather. And so they ran her off, and I think she came back and snuck back in later on, but that was kind of a life or death thing for her, so she didn't really have much of a choice. But in any case, they changed their mind, and now they've allowed work for stay. Don't know how much they're going to do that. Probably depends on who is staying there or who is in charge of the hut at that particular time. But in any case, it'd be nice to have just a little bit of consistency up there. And that's not something that's controlled by the ATC. That is something that is controlled by the AMC. So AMC is a huge Leviathan. It doesn't necessarily go by all the things the ATC says, and probably a good thing, but they are independent in some way, shape, or form from the ATC in a lot of regards. But anyway, enough about the AMC. Let's keep on talking about the hikers. So we got Luscious. He is still with Nate and Tupac, but Tupac got off to go to a wedding. So when she gets done with her wedding festivities, she's going to flip up back and with Lush and Nate so they can all summit together. And Lush and Nate, they also ran across and are hiking with Scotsman, Supertramp, and Ranger. So that's pretty cool. And they have crossed into Connecticut. And the water sources, they say, have been great everywhere. And Boo Boo has made it to New Hampshire. So that is great. If you're a thru hiker out there, all of these folks sent me their updates this past week, and so I greatly appreciate that. That helps me out so much instead of me having to go and try to look at 450 different social media accounts to bring this to you. If you're a thru hiker and you want to be included on the update, then send those updates to me through Instagram or DM through Instagram or Facebook, or you can email that to me, and all of those links are down in the description section there. If you want to send me a short 30-second video, then I'll be glad to include that in this video as well. You can let us know what's going on the trail. Let us know what's going on the trail anyway, so I can share that with other folks out there, and that way the thru hikers that are coming behind you or in your general vicinity, or even section hikers, will know what's going on there. So we had a couple summits to bring up. Hawk, he summited on his 6th thru hike. So I think he's been thru hiking the past 5 years. So why the discrepancy? Well, I think it was the year before last, he did a yo-yo. So for those that don't know, a yo-yo is you start at Springer and you hike to Katahdin, and you get to Katahdin summit, turn right back around and hike back to Springer and finish up at Springer again. So that's up and down. That's a yo-yo. So not a lot of people do that, but he did that 2 years ago, and now he's been hiking for about 5 years on his 6th thru hike. Summited this over this past week. No Filter and Rumbles, they have finished the flip-flop at Springer. So congratulations for them for summiting down there at Springer and finishing their hike. Pungo, he has summited at Mount Katahdin, and he is done as well. And he says he started this ascent at 5 a.m. and there was only one other hiker up there. So there was plenty of time for pictures, for them to take pictures. A lot of times it gets pretty crowded up there with not only section hikers and day hikers, but this is summit season, so you got a lot of folks coming through the summit. And so that sign can get pretty dang crowded up there around that area. But fortunately, he got there before he did that. But one of the things that hiking up there early that he was able to do is watch everybody else as they come up there and be part of the celebration, be a part of all that joy, all that positive energy, all those blessings that were going on up there. So I think that would be really cool to be a part of that. And he says it was, and what a joyous day it was for that. So that is awesome. Appreciate you sharing that with us, Pungo. Shout out to Reba and her cousin KC. They have summited. Reba is 66-year-old and KC is 60 years old. So they start in Georgia on March 7th and summited Katahdin on July 28th. So that's awesome. Congratulations to them. Sarge, he summited, and he was summit number 482. Reroute, she summited a few weeks ago, and she summited with Underdog, but I didn't catch that, and so I want to make sure that we didn't leave her out, because she had been somebody that had been updating us this season. And this time in 2020, just to kind of give you an idea of where we're at compared to last year, there was, at this time last year, there was 83 people that had summited by now. So that kind of gives you an indication of how things are going. This is more of a normal year. Obviously, last year was not. Even this year, maybe a little bit down, because a lot of people, again, were putting their hikes off until things got better with the pandemic. And so we'll see how that goes for next year. But in any case, those are the stats that we have right now. 83 last year, and like I said, Sarge, he was number 482 and this is strictly NOBO summits, as Baxter State Parks registers those to get your summit pass or summit registration to get up to Mount Katahdin. So please, thru hikers out there, whether you've been updating me all along or not, send me your summit pictures, send me your summit numbers, so that we've got that data for future reference. But we want to celebrate with you and honor you. And it doesn't matter if you summited at Katahdin, or you summited at Springer, or you summited in Daleville. Send us your final picture of when you finish the trail so that we can rejoice with you and share and honor your thru hike, because that is something that is really neat. So we got a few folks that are off the trail. We got Chong. He is off at mile 1,710, just past Rutland. He has a shoulder injury. He went back home to get it checked out, and he's going to have surgery. So that's going to keep him from completing his hike for this year. And then Tex, she got back on. We mentioned her last week. She got some type of weird allergy that she just suddenly developed to the tape, Leuco tape or KT tape or whatever she was using, something to the adhesive that was causing her to blister. And she was doing it to prevent the blisters. And so she went back home to try to find out what was going on. She thought she had that figured out, came back, and she did about 70 miles, and the same thing was happening again. So she had to go back home because she had to get whatever stronger medication she was using before. She had to get something a little stronger. And she's going to give it a little more time to heal. Also change out her shoes, maybe bring some sandals to keep flipping those back and forth between the two so that she can avoid any of that. She's only got about 3 weeks to left till she summit. So hopefully she can get all that in before she has to go back to work. And then if you follow thru hikers, then you know the name Quicksand. Quicksand, I've had a lot of people ask me, where's Quicksand? He hasn't updated in a while. I think it's been a couple weeks now. Well, Quicksand is off the trail. He is off the trail. He's off social media. He is spending time with his wife. They started at the beach. Not sure where they went after that, but he has gotten off trail, and I do not know if he's going to be getting back on. He did indicate that he would be coming out with a video and let everybody know. So Quicksand, if you're watching this, wish the best to you and the missus out there, and looking forward to whatever the future has for you. And appreciate the videos that you put out before. He really does some quality videos. So go to his YouTube channel. If you really like watching the trail, seeing what the trail's like, then he really shows that to you. And that's the Quicksand Show. And you can just look that up on YouTube and find that. So a little bit of trail news out there. It's been brought to my attention by a lady's name is Wendy. She has hiked the AT and the PCT and the CDT. Or correction, not the CDT, the Colorado Trail, but she has started a post-trail organization. It's a resource for thru hikers and people that have finished their hike out there. And it's called posttrailmagic.org. And you can find that at www.posttrailmagic.org. That's all one word. And what it is basically, a lot of times people get done with their thru hike, and, for 4, 5, 6 months, you have been on this glorious track up there, and your lifestyle has changed, and you've developed new friends, new relationships, new community, and all of a sudden your hike is done, and you're off trail. Now what do you do with yourself? A lot of people develop post-trail depression. A lot of people just don't know what they do. They miss the trail life. They miss the community. So this is a way to address all of those things, to help people with their post-trail depression, have a place to talk to other hikers, have a place to talk to people, just help them with diet. So sounds like it's going to be something that's really neat. It's all new. So I'm looking forward to how this develops and how this helps people over the coming months and even the coming years. And their mantra is, this is a place to strengthen bonds with members of the hiker community for long-distance hikers to gather, recover, and renew after their long hikes. And so I think that's exciting that somebody has put this together, and looking forward to more things going on with this post-trail magic. Now, speaking of trail magic, I want to give a shout out to a couple trail angels out there. So Roof Walker and Spineless Cougar, they're trail angels up in Vermont. I believe they're actually from New York, but they go up in the AT section there in Vermont because it's closer, and around the Rutland area, and they are helping hikers out there. Certainly AT thru hikers, but the AT shares the treadway with the long trail, so they're helping long trail hikers as well. But they do a lot of trail magic up there, and they have been doing it this past week. And I have mentioned this before, that Spineless Cougar has been doing trail magic for years. but his eyesight got so bad that he couldn't drive the trail anymore. And so he was looking for somebody to give him rides to the trail and kind of be a part of that. And through this channel, we kind of facilitated that, put some folks together with him. And so Roof Walker is one of those that helps him on a regular basis. And now Roof Walker has received the blessing of helping people on the Trail Magic. And so he and Spineless Cougar go up there and help just a plethora of hikers on a regular basis. And so Roof Walker has received the blessing by going up there and helping hikers. And Spineless Cougar has received the blessing not only from helping hikers, but Roof Walker helping him go up there and do that. So kudos to both those guys for what they're doing up there. And then also I want to give a shout out to Fresh Ground. So if you've spent much time hiking on the trail as a thru hiker throughout the years, then you'll know that name, Fresh Ground, and the Leapfrog Cafe. Fresh Ground is just known. He caters to hikers literally, and his blessing to them is that he feeds them. So the rules are, one of the rules is that you never leave his table being hungry. So that's awesome. And one of the really neat things is I was able to experience Fresh Ground's catering and blessings this past week. Ran into Fresh Ground, and he was going to feed us while we were hiking through from Chestnut Knob shelter is where Come Along and I started, and we were going all the way over past Bland over into that area. Going to do about 40 or 50 miles or so in there, and unfortunately we were not able to finish. That's totally my fault, and I'll be bringing that up later when I put out my videos for that hike. But in any case, Fresh Ground was there and just really enjoyed the blessings that he had for us. But one of the really neat things I enjoyed seeing was we ran across a couple hikers that were up at Chestnut Knob Shelter that night. One was from the Czech Republic and the other was from Russia, and they were hiking. And in particular, the one from Czech Republic, he was new to hiking, and he was really enjoying it. Said he'd fallen in love with hiking. But then when Fresh Ground, we invited them to come and be a part of what Fresh Ground was doing for us. And so Fresh Ground fed them 3 meals, and it was really neat to see their expression. They just to be a part of that joy. And as you know, the funny thing was, as one of the Czechs' name was, his trail name was Checkmate. And so I asked him, he was talking about how it was neat, how it was so good to be fed these meals that Fresh Ground does on the trail, and how much he just couldn't believe what was going on. And I said, hey, this is trail magic. And he said, it's not trail magic, this is a trail miracle. So I know that's terrible, terrible Czech accent. But in any case, it was really neat to see the joy that they had. And you trail angels, people out there, you don't know what it means for folks to experience what you have out there. And I hope that any hiker that experiences this, and trail angels will feed you or have their trail magic for you, whether you're a thru hiker or a section hiker. But as a hiker out there that gets part of this blessing, understand that's what it is. That is a blessing that you're getting there. And the trail angels, they want to do it, and they do it because out of love. They do it love for the community, love for the hikers. And so just keep that in mind whenever you get the opportunity to be blessed by trail magic. Well, folks, that's all I got this week. I'll be coming out in the future here with not only with the rest of my Vermud videos, but also what came up with this past hike. So hopefully you got that to look forward to. And then we'll also be doing another update next week. So thru hikers, send me your updates. Anybody that got any trail news, send those to me as well, whether you're a thru hiker or not. You may see something come across the boards that I'm not aware of. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out there.